And even worse, father's away at the war and won't be able to get home.
We don't really have the money to spend on presents this year, Joe. But we do have each other. And Mother to look after us.
Oh, and dear old Hannah.
Yes, we've lots to be thankful for.
Marmy says it's going to be a hard winter for everyone, and we ought not to spend money for pleasure when our men in the army are suffering so. She says it's our way of making some sort of sacrifice, and we ought to do it gladly. But I'm afraid I don't.
I can't see that the little we should spend would do any good. Look, we've each got $1, and the army wouldn't be helped by our getting that. I agree not to accept anything from Marmy or you. But there's a book I've wanted to buy for ages.
Oh, you and your old books. You never think of anything else. I was going to get some drawing pencils with my $1. I really need them.
And I plan to spend mine on some new piano music.
Well, I don't suppose Mother would want us to give up everything.
Let's each buy what we want and have a little fun. I'm sure we work hard enough to earn it.
I know I do. Teaching those tiresome children of Mrs. King's all day.
Being a governess isn't half as bad as being shut up for hours on end as a companion to Aunt March. There never was such a tiresome old busspot.
I don't know how you cope with her, Joe. She frightens me to death. Well, I'm glad I only have to stay home and help.
She keeps me on the trot, I can tell you, and she's never satisfied. And then every day I have to read to her. And what do I have to read? It's always the same. The odious essays of Mr. Belsham. When I think of all the wonderful books Aunt March could buy with all that money she's got. But no, we just read, and reread Mr. Belsham's boring old book.
It's wrong to grumble. I know. But I do think keeping things clean and tidy home here is just the worst work in the world. Oh, my hands get so stiff that I can't practice well the piano at all.
I don't believe any of you suffer as I do, for you don't have to go to school. It's such a degradation to have to mix with impertinent girls who laugh at your dresses because they're not new, and insult you because your nose isn't nice, and label your father because he isn't rich.
If you mean libel, I'd say so. And not speak of labels as if father were a jar of pickles.
I know what I mean, and you need to be statistical about it. It's good to improve your vocabulary, and anyway, I don't use slang words like you. And I don't whistle either. It's so boyish.
That's why I do it.
I detest an unladylike girl.
And I hate affected niminy-piminy chicks.
No, Amy!
Don't peck at one another. Josephine, you were old enough to leave off boyish tricks and behave better. It didn't matter so much when you were a little girl, but now you are older and turn up your hair. You should remember that you are a young lady.
I'm not. And if turning up my hair makes me one, then I'll wear it in 2 tails till I'm 30. I hate to think I've got to grow up and be Miss March. It's bad enough to be a girl already. I can't get over my disappointment in not being a boy. And it's worse than ever now. I'm dying to go and fight with father. But I can only stay home and knit like a poky old woman.
Poor Joe. Well, it's too bad, but it can't be helped. You must try and be content with making your name boyish, playing brother to us girls.
As for you, Amy, you are altogether too particular and prim. Your airs are funny now, but you'll grow up an affected goose if you don't take care. It is good to cultivate nice manners and a refined way of speaking. But your absurd words are quite as bad as Joe's slang.
If Joe is a tomboy and Amy is a goose, what am I?
You're a dear, nothing else.
6
o'clock. Mother will be here at any minute and nothing ready for her. Dear, what a self-pitying, bickery lot we are. Come along, let's put things to rights and have everything ready for her when she comes in.
These slippers with Marmy's are quite worn out. She needs a new pair, badly.
I think I'll get her a pair for Christmas with my $1.
No, I will.
I'm getting all this, so
I'm the man of the family now father's away. I shall provide the slippers. For he told me to take special care of mother while he was gone.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's each get her something for Christmas. And don't get anything for ourselves. We don't deserve anything sitting at home grumbling all day. Marmy
Marmy's been working hard at the Soldiers' Aid Society. Beth is quite right. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. I think I shall give Mother some gloves. She has only 2 pair, and they are both very dry.
I shall get her a nice bottle of cologne.
I did see some nice handkerchiefs in town, which would make a lovely present.
And I shall get the best slippers to be had.
Poor Joe.
For land's sakes, what's going on in here? You girls are making a rare old noise, and no mistake.
We're planning Christmas presents for Marty.
Well, I reckon she'll need some peace and quiet when she gets home. She's been helping pack Christmas boxes for the soldiers all day. Couldn't even come home to dinner. And as if that weren't enough, she said she hadn't mind to call on that poor Hummel family on her way back. I guess they're in need again. And your mom will help. There never was such a woman for giving away clothes and victuals and things, no matter how little she had for herself.
Poor Mrs. Hummel. Her husband's just died, and she has 6 children and a new baby to look after.
Well, they've a guardian angel in your mom. She'll not be long now. As soon as I hear her come in, I shall bring the tea. And you make sure she brings a good strong cupful while it's nice and hot. She'll be tired, and it's mortal cold outside. Oh, I'd forgotten all about this. It came by hand this afternoon. It's for you, Miss May.
Whoever can it be from?
I reckon if you really want to find out, the easiest thing to do is to
Oh, what fun! It's a note of invitation from Mrs. Gardner. Just listen to this. Mrs. Gardner would be happy to see Miss March and Miss Josephine have a little party on New Year's Eve. Oh, doesn't that sound grand? Do you think Marmy will let us go?
I don't see any reason why not. You're young ladies now. Well, I must get back to my kitchen. Don't let this fancy invite make you forget your mom's toast.
Oh, Joe, isn't it wonderful? It's ages since we went to a party. Now what shall we wear?
What's the use in asking that, when you know we shall wear our poplins because we haven't anything else?
Oh, the Gardners and their wretched party. We must decide on what to do about Marty's present, for she'll be here at any moment.
We must let her think we're getting things for ourselves. Oh, and then we can surprise her.
Oh, yes. We must go shopping tomorrow afternoon, because there will be no other time, and we still have to rehearse our play on Christmas night.
Yes, and it has to be extra specially good this year. Marmy always enjoys our Christmas plays, and with Father away, she needs cheering up as much as possible.
I don't think I shall act in any more after this one. I'm getting too old for such things.
Oh, fiddlesticks, Ned. You'll not stop as long as you can trail around in a long white gown with your hair down and wear gold paper jewelry. Besides, you're the best actress we've got, and there'll be an end to everything if you quit the boards. We could rehearse a bit now. Come on, Amy, let's do the fainting scene. You're as stiff as a poker in that.
I can't help it. I've never seen anyone faint in my whole entire life. And I don't need to make myself all black and blue, tumbling as loud as you do. If I go down easily, I'll drop. If I can't, I shall fall into a chair and be graceful. And I don't care if Hugo does come at me with a pistol in that seat.
Look, do it like this. Clasp your hands so, and stagger across the stage crying frantically, Rodrigo, save me, save me! Ah!
Rodrigo, save me, save me!
It's no use. Do the best you can when the time comes, and if the audience laughs, don't blame me.
I don't see how you write and act such splendid things, Joe. You're a regular Shakespeare.
Not quite, but I do think my effort this year, The Witch's Curse and Operatic Tragedy, is my best yet. What I should really like to do is Macbeth. If only we had a trapdoor for Banquo. I've always wanted to do the killing part. Is that a dagger I see before me?
No, it's a toasting fork.
Oh, Mother, we were beginning to wonder what happened to you. How have you got on today?
Hannah, Mommy, wrong time for the cheer!
Did you feel better, Meg? Oh, yes, much better. Joe, you're looking tired out. And has anyone called today, Beth?
I'm not today, Marmy.
Oh, and how was school today?
Just terrible.
Oh, my dear. My, it's been a busy day. There was so much to do getting those Christmas boxes ready to go tomorrow. Hannah says you were calling on poor Mrs. Hummel on your way home. Oh, yes. I took them some firewood and a basket of food. They are in a desperate plight.
Oh, Marty, how is the new baby?
Very thin and undernourished, like all the children. They have no fire, and they all huddle together in one bed to keep warm.
Mother, how dreadful.
And that's not all. Mrs. Hummel has been so poorly since the new baby came that she is unable to work. And until I got there, they had literally nothing to eat. My girls, I wonder, shall we give them some of the good things we have put aside for our Christmas so that theirs may be a little happier?
Oh, yes.
We must do that.
Oh, Mother, yes, I thought you would want to. Tomorrow we'll all go around together and deliver our gifts. Now, as a reward for your goodness of heart, what do you think the soldier home on leave brought me today?
A letter! A letter!
A letter. He is well, and he sends all sorts of loving wishes for Christmas, and a special message for you girls. Let me see. Yes, here it is. He says,
give them all my dear love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them by day, pray for them by night, and find my best comfort in their affection at all times. A year seems very long to wait before I see them, but remind them that while we wait, we may all work, so that these hard days need not be wasted. I know they will remember all I said to them, that they will be loving children to you, will do their duty faithfully and conduct themselves so beautifully, that when I come back to them, I may be
fonder and prouder than ever of my little women.
Oh, that dear good man.
Poor Hannah. She has been with us for so long now that she misses your father as much as the rest of us.
Oh, Marmy. Oh, we've forgotten all about your tea. I think it was so splendid of Father to go as a chaplain. And he was too old to be drafted and not strong enough to be a soldier.
I wish I could go, as a drummer or a nurse, so I could be near him and help him.
It must be very disagreeable to sleep in a tent and eat all sorts of bad tasting things and drink out of a tin mug.
Oh, Marmy, when will he come home to us?
Oh, not for many months, I'm afraid, dear. He will stay and do his duty as long as he can, and we will not ask him back a minute sooner than he can be spared. Joe, dear, draw the curtains. Let us make ourselves cozy for the evening. There is some sewing to do, and perhaps you'll read aloud to us as we work, eh?
Oh, look! The lamps are lit in the drawing room of the big house next door, and they haven't drawn the curtains. I can see right in. Joe, you shouldn't do that. It's like eavesdropping. There's old Mr. Laurence sitting in a great chair, and the Laurence boy plays to him on the most beautiful grand piano. It's simply enormous. Oh, Beth, do come and see. It will make you quite certain.
Certainly not. Joe, draw the curtains at once and come away from the window. What would Mr. Laurence and his grandson think if they saw you peering over at them?
But, Marmy, it isn't as if they're complete strangers to us. You told us once that old Mr. Laurence knew your father many years ago. And I've spoken with the Laurence boy.
Without a formal introduction?
Don't be so stuffy, Amy. It was when one of Beth's kittens ran over into their garden, and he brought it back.
He looks nice. It seems as if he'd like to know us. Oh, but he's bashful.
I think he's a capital fellow, and I mean to get to know him, for he needs friends. I'm sure he does.
I have no objection to you knowing them if a proper opportunity occurs. But Mr. Laurence keeps very much to himself, and I wouldn't wish to presume on a very slight acquaintance.
Why does he do that, Mother?
I believe he has endured a great family tragedy that has made him disinclined to mix with other people. And that, of course, makes it difficult for his grandson to get to know anyone.
He keeps the boy shut up when he isn't out, riding or walking with his tutor, and makes him study very hard.
The Lovats told me that they asked him to their party, but he didn't go.
Well, I think it's jolly hard luck.
Joe, that will do. It is not for us to criticize and know better. Please, draw the curtains and come back to the fire.
Oh, they've gone now. Christopher Columbus! Yes, it is. It's Aunt March.
Aunt March?
Marmy, Aunt March's carriage is drawing up outside.
Whatever does she want? I don't think she's called on us in 10 years. She didn't say anything to you about calling this evening.
No, Marmy, I can't understand it.
Well, she's here now. Quick, girls, let's tidy up the room. Meg, you take the tray back to the kitchen. Have Hannah make some fresh tea.
Yes, Marmy.
Beth and Amy, you better go upstairs until I send for you. And Joe, you stay here in case Aunt March wishes to speak with you. rather terrifies her.
Well, Elise, aren't you going to ask me to sit down?
Yes, good evening, Aunt March. Please come in and make yourself at home. May I take your cloak?
No, thank you. I don't intend to stay that long. Only just came by to see how you and the girls were. Never get any information out of Josie being here.
We are well, thank you. Meg has had a slight cold, but I'm sure she'll be getting better soon.
Cold? I'm not surprised. The way young people go on, it's a wonder they don't die of pneumonia.
And are you feeling well, Aunt March?
Me? Well? I'm never well. My old trouble here gives me constant pain, and of course I get so little sleep.
But Joe tells me that you sleep for an hour or so every day after dinner.
Nonsense. I am just resting my eyes from the light while she reads to me. I haven't really slept in over 30 years. I just lose myself a little while, that's all.
But you never find yourself again very soon, do you, Aunt?
Joe, don't be impertinent. It must be very trying for you, Aunt March.
Have you heard from your husband, my nephew?
Yes, he is doing well, thank you, and seems to find the rigors of camp life not too difficult to bear.
It's beyond me why he had to go gallivanting off to the war at all at his age. Why couldn't he stay here and be a chaplain?
He did what he knew to be the right thing to do, and though I miss him dearly, I would not have it otherwise. He is doing good work among you.
His judgment, you know, isn't always unerring. Look at how he lost all his money helping that good-for-nothing friend of his only a few years ago. I told him. I said to him at the time. I said to him.
Aunt March! What my husband did, he did as a good Christian gentleman to help a dear friend in misfortune. That everything was lost in the transaction is no reflection on either of them. I am sorry, but I cannot stand here in his own home and listen while you go on.
Tidy then. Didn't I offer to do what I could at the time? Didn't I offer to adopt one of the girls and bring her up?
We told you then that we would not give up one of our girls. Not for a fortune. Rich or poor, we will stay together and be happy in one another.
Mighty independent, I must say. Well, you know your business best, I suppose. Though I think it a pity you did not take me up on my offer.
We are, of course, grateful to you for having Joe as a helping companion.
Wouldn't have her. She didn't suit me. Took a fancy to her, and I am always right in these matters. She does well enough. Though it seems to me that sometimes she spends a great deal more time in her late uncle's library than in attending to my wants.
Oh, but Aunt March,
Well, I'd hush up, girl. You know it's true. You spend every spare minute you can find among those books.
I'm afraid our Joe has a great weakness for reading, but she should not neglect her duties to indulge her pleasures.
Oh, her duties, they're light enough in good conscience. Wind yarn, wash the pool, feed Polly, my sweet parrot, fetch and carry, and read aloud Belsham's essays, of which I, at least, never tire.
Am I to understand then, Aunt March, that you are here this evening to complain of Joe's behavior?
Complain? Complain? What do we get you the idea that I would ever complain about anything?
Then may I ask the reason for your visit?
Reason? Well, mercy honest, that should be plain enough. What should an invalid like myself, racked with pain, come out on a cold winter's night? Why, for no reason other than to wish you happy Christmas, of course. What else?
Thank you, Aunt
And
March.
with that nephew of mine off playing at soldiers, I have no doubt that things are not so plentiful here at home this year. Josephine, go out to the carriage and fetch the parcel from the coachman there. Now, it's just a small gift, nothing much, something for each girl, a trifle of lace, a little button, some lace, some trifles for each one of them. And there's a basket with ham and butter and cakes and things and some good, wholesome produce. I do not think rich food is good for young people. At any rate, it will keep you all from starving. Put those down, girl, before you drop them.
here listening to your gossip.
Remember, do not open the parcels until Christmas morning.
Marty! Oh, Joe, I don't know what to say. And to think that after we wouldn't let her adopt one of you, she didn't speak to us for a whole year. After Christmas, I'll be extra good, I promise. And do everything she asks me with a smile. Even treating the boring, brilliant essays of Mr. Belsham.
And you run along, dear. I'm going to pack all these things away for Christmas morning.
Marnie, may we have some time to rehearse our play upstairs, please? There's still quite a lot to do for it.
Yes, I have several things to do down here, and I will call you when I am done. But Joe, try not to make too much noise.
All right, Marnie.
It's all right, Hannah. I'll go. Will you take these things, please? They are Christmas presents from Aunt March. Christmas presents from Aunt March. Land sakes, that'll make the angels sing. Come in, Mr. Laurence. It is kind of you to call.
Thank you, Mrs. March. I'm really here on behalf of my grandfather. He asked me to present his compliments and his apologies.
His apologies.
Yes. He asked me to say that he feels he's been very remiss in not calling to pay his respects to you, the daughter of his old friend. But he hopes you will forgive the tardiness of an old man who ventures but rarely into society.
How very kind of him. Please sit down.
Oh, and he hopes you'll do him the honor of accepting these 2 bottles of Madeira with the compliments of the season.
Thank you. My, you did have to learn a long speech, didn't you?
Yes, it was rather. I was afraid I should forget half of it, but these flowers are from me. I picked them myself in the conservatory.
How very sweet of you. They are lovely. You must thank your grandfather most warmly for me. Perhaps you both would like to come and take tea and meet the rest of my family?
I should like it very much indeed, Mrs. March.
Well, I believe you've met one of my daughters, Joe, already.
Yes, when the kitten ran into our garden. She is full of life, isn't she? She told me she wants to be an authoress.
Oh yes, our Joe is a lively one. She's always busy scribbling away over the study she has made for herself in the attic.
Meg is the pretty one, isn't she? And Beth the rosy one who stays at home a good deal. And the curly-haired one who sketches and paints is Amy, I believe.
My, for someone who has never really met my family, you seem to know a great deal about them. Pray, how did you find all that out?
Why, you see, I often hear them calling to one another. And sometimes when I'm at home alone, I can't help looking over here at your house. You always seem to be having such good times. Sometimes when you don't draw the curtains and the lamps are lighted, it's like a picture to look at. And see you all at the table or busy with some household task. I'm afraid that I can't help but watch.
Do you live alone with your grandfather?
Yes. My parents are both dead. Grandpa lives among his books and doesn't pay much interest when my wife is outside. Mr. Brooke, my tutor, only comes during the day, so I am rather much alone at times. That is why I'm afraid I've taken to watching all your comings and goings.
When you have met my family, there will be no need for you to watch any longer, for you must come over whenever you feel lonely and join in our simple amusements. I know my girls will make you very welcome.
Thank you very much, Mrs. March. It is good of you to receive me so kindly. I will give your message to Grandpa and tell him
You must forgive the noise. I'm afraid Joe is rehearsing the others in a family play for Christmas, and things tend to get a little out of hand. That is why I cannot introduce you to them now. I have no idea what state of uproar they are in.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Hannah, would you please show Mr. Laurence out? Good night, Mr. Laurence, and thank you for the lovely flowers. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Good evening, Mrs. March. I shall look forward to coming.
What a nice young gentleman. But if all I hear is true, he's left a sight too much on his own.
Yes, I'm afraid he doesn't have a whole lot of fun over that big house all alone. He needs some lively company. It seems to me there's a whole lot of lively company right here on his doorstep. Yes, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of that young man in the near future.
The Gardners are such an elegant family, and their guests are always so fashionable. Mother says that I may have a silk dress for my birthday. That is an everlasting time to wait.
I'm sure this dress looks like silk, Meg. Oh, it's as good as new. And you look awfully nice in it.
Here's the lace handkerchief that I said you might borrow. But do please be careful with it, for it's the very best of what I have.
Thank you, Amy.
You're not going to the party like that, are you?
Oh, of course not. Joe's going to finish the curls in with hot tongs for me in a moment. Curls on the forehead are all the fashion this season, you know.
Oh, Beth. Won't it be wonderful when we are old enough to go to evening parties too? Yes, Amy.
Where's Joe? It's past 7 o'clock already, and the last time I saw her, she'd not even started to dress. I don't believe she likes parties very much.
Oh, she says she hates being dressed up and on her best behavior. She'd much rather settle down with a good book and bag of apples in her attic.
Be a dear, Amy. Run up and see how she is getting on. It would never do for us to be late. There, Beth, how do I look?
Joe! Joe!
A real belle.
Well, this new ribbon sets it off nicely. And Marmy's pearl brooch gives the goddess a very aristocratic air. She is a dear to lend it to me. Oh, and don't my new slippers look lovely?
Oh, yes, Meg. Are they comfortable?
They pinch a little when I walk. But I expect that will soon wear off. Anyway, I haven't any others that go so well with this dress.
I brought the curling tongs.
Good. Pinching the curls into place won't take a moment. And then I shall feel the very height of fashion.
You look really elegant, Meg.
Thank you, Amy. I'm so glad.
Meg, it's so long since I put on this dress that I've forgotten all about the burn in the back. It shows badly and I can't get any of it out. Whatever shall I do?
Oh, Joe, why will you stand in front of the fire like a man? It's not the first dress you scorched and spoiled by doing so. Well, you've nothing else to wear, so you'll have to wear that. Oh. But what the Gardners will think, I just don't know.
I shall just have to sit still and keep my back out of sight. The front's all right anyway.
Where are your gloves, Joe?
I'm afraid they're stained with lemonade I got on them at the last party we went to. Well, I couldn't ask Mommy for new ones. They're so expensive. So I shall just go without.
Joe, really, you're the most provoking girl. You must have gloves. Gloves are more important than anything else.
Meg's right. A real lady is always known by her knee boots, her gloves, and her handkerchief.
Of course, you must have that. If you don't, then I won't go. Oh, I would be so mortified if you went without them.
Then I'll just stay where I am.
Oh, you mustn't spoil the evening like that. Oh, can't you make your gloves do, even if they are soiled?
Well, I suppose I could carry them crumpled in my hand so no one sees how stained they are. No, I'll tell you how we can manage. We'll each wear one good one and carry one bad one.
Your hands are bigger than mine, and you will stretch my gloves dreadfully.
Then I'll go without, and I don't care what people say.
Very well. You may have it. You may. Only, please don't stain it. You will behave nicely, won't you? You won't stare or say, Christopher Columbus, at the top of your voice.
Meg, it's only a party at Mrs. Gardner's. We aren't going to meet President Lincoln. Now let's get your curls done. I'll be as prim as I can and not get into any scrapes if I can help it. But if I forget and you see me doing anything wrong, remind me by a week, will you?
I shall do nothing of the sort. Winking is not at all ladylike. I shall lift my eyebrows if anything is wrong, and nod if you're all right. Now, when we get there, Joe, do hold your shoulders straight, and take short steps, and don't shake hands if you were introduced. Ought they to smoke like that?
It's the dampness drying, that's all.
What a queer smell. It's like burnt feathers.
I expect it's the scorched paper.
There. Now we'll remove the papers and you'll see a cloud of little ringlets.
Are you ready? It's getting late.
Oh, my bad as all that. Amy, dear, pass me that comb. Now, what we will do is we will comb these fringes forward so the fringe looks nice and tidy. Then, when you get to the gardeners, we fasten your bow further forward on your forehead, and nothing will seem amiss.
Mommy's right. I've seen many girls do it so.
Thank you so much. What should we do without you? Help each other even more than you do now, I expect. Now, let me see these fine two young ladies of fashion. Oh, yes, you'll do lovely. Now, into your cloaks and away with you before any more disasters occur. Do not eat too much supper, and make sure you come away at 11 when I send Hannah for you. Oh, and give my kind regards to Mrs. Gardner and the girls. Oh, you both do have good pocket handkerchiefs, yes?
Good night. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Oh, I wish I could go as well. I do envy them.
Oh, never mind about that, Amy. Your turn will come, and then you'll be going to lots of parties. I do hope they enjoy themselves this evening. I'm afraid those high-heeled slippers of Meg's are too tight for real comfort. She is too delighted in them to admit it. Now, take these things upstairs, and you two better get ready for bed. Oh, don't look so forlorn. There's a little consolation prize up there for you. I have made some of your favorite cookies and put them up there with some fresh milk.
Oh, thank you, Mommy.
Good night, girls.
Good night, Mommy. Good night.
And then Laurie suggested... Laurie? Young Mr. Laurence. He was at the party with his tutor, Mr. Brooke. And they said they would bring us home in their carriage. Wasn't that splendid of them? Well, where are they now, Joe? Out helping Megan from the carriage. I came on ahead to tell you what had happened. Tell them to come in. Good evening, Mr. Laurence. It is kind of you to help in this manner. Meg, over to the sofa where you may rest your ankle, and we'll see what damage has been done. There. That is better.
Oh, may I introduce my tutor and friend, Mr. John Brooke, and Mrs. March.
Good evening, Mr. Brooke. I'm afraid this little catastrophe has rather cut short the evening for you and Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, not at all, Mrs. March. We usually leave early, don't we, Laurie? Yes. Mr. Lawrence doesn't like his grandson out too late.
Besides, it is raining hard, and Miss Meg would have been soaked if she had to limp all the way home.
Has there been much damage done?
No, I do not think there are any broken bones. It is just a nasty sprain. You'll have to rest up for a few days, Meg.
Oh, that's a relief. We were afraid it might be more serious, weren't we, Miss Joe?
Christopher Columbus! Why are we so formal all of a sudden? We were getting on so well at the party, and it was Laurie, Meg, and Joe then. It's no use raising your eyebrows looking like that, Meg. I said I would be on my best behavior at the gardeners. But I'm home now and have had quite enough prudence and propriety for one evening. You mustn't be too shocked by Joe's behavior. She is a firm believer in speaking her own mind, especially in her own home. But you must feel at home here as well, and Joe won't let you stand on ceremony for long.
Thank you, Mrs. March. I wish you would call me Laurie, too.
Of course I will. Now I must get a full compress for this ankle. Joe, while I go and get things for it, would you get our guest a glass of the Madeira? Please, gentlemen, make yourself comfortable.
This is very hospitable of your mother. but I am afraid of being true.
Not at all, Mr. Brooke. Mother likes company, and it would be inhospitable to let you go without some refreshment after the kind way in which you have helped us this evening.
Besides, we are neighbors, and you needn't think you'd be a bother. We want to get to know you, and I've been trying to do it this ever so long.
Thank you. To your speedy recovery, Miss March.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke. My ankle feels easier already.
Now tell me, do they really call you Laurence? It's not a mouthful of a name.
No, my first name is Theodore. And I don't like it, for the fellas called me Dora. So I made them call me Lori instead.
I hate my name too. Josephine is so sentimental. I wish everyone would call me Joe instead. My Aunt March, who I'm with every day, will call me Josephine. Tell me, how did you get the boys to stop calling you Dora?
I thrashed them.
Well, I suppose I can't very well thrash Aunt March. I shall just have to bear it.
Oh, is this your father?
Yes, that's Father. It is so hard.
Is Lori always a good pupil, Mr. Brooke?
Perhaps not always, Miss March. For he does not always apply himself as he should. But when he does, it is very rewarding, and one begins to see the fruit of one's work.
I think also. But I must confess that I don't really enjoy it. I only wish that I liked it as much as you obviously do.
I think you would if you had Lori as a pupil. He is particularly good at languages. His French is quite fluent, and we are now working hard at his German. I think in a few months...
German? You were teaching him German?
Why, yes. Do you speak it?
No. That is, my father was teaching me before he went away. And although I try to practice myself, I'm afraid I don't get on very fast alone. For I have no one to correct my pronunciation.
Then perhaps you will allow me to...
Oh, no, I couldn't, Father. I didn't mean that when I said so.
Of course not. I quite understand. But if you will allow me, I will have a word with your mother and see what can be arranged.
Very kind of you.
Not at all. It would give me great pleasure to be of some assistance.
You are very happy with Lori and old Mr. Laurence?
Indeed, yes. I shall be very sorry to leave them when Lori goes to college in a year or so.
And what will become of you then?
Well, I have no family now, and few friends. So I think if the war is still on, I shall turn soldier.
Well, I'm sure that Mr. Laurence and Lori will regret the parting as much as you do.
Mine will be the greater loss, I think. For I'm beginning to realize what a very charming neighborhood this is.
I have been longer than I expected. We've been searching everywhere for this ball of arnica, which is so good for sprains. For some reason, best known to itself, it was hiding in the larder in the jars of pickles.
We must bid you good night, Mrs. March. You have much to do, I'm sure. Thank you again for your hospitality. Are you ready, Lori?
Oh, yes.
Good evening, Mr. Brooke. Lori, we look forward to seeing you and your grandfather for tea tomorrow. I was so pleased when you responded to my note and said you would come. Thank you again for bringing Meg home. Joe will see you out. I must find this envelope.
Good night, Mrs. March.
Good night.
Mommy, please, may we come down?
Yeah, Amy, I thought you were asleep hours ago.
We were so excited we just lied awake talking. And then we heard the carriage
And we
arriving.
crept out onto the landing, but then we dared to come down, so we heard everything.
You were very naughty eavesdropping. And Amy, dear, do take that clothes peg off your nose.
But Mommy, you know I always sleep with it on to improve the shape of my nose. It really is my worst feature.
Here you are, pets. I brought you some bonbons and a little treat.
Joe! Oh, you didn't take them from the supper table.
Yes, I don't think anybody saw me.
Oh, well, how can you be sure? What would the gardeners think if they saw you? Or Lori? Or Mr. Brooke?
Lori would just laugh. And what has it to do with Mr. Brooke?
Well, he would consider us very ill-mannered young ladies.
Oh, stop.
Tell us about the party. Please, tell about the party.
We had a capital time. Meg danced nearly every dance in spite of her shoes until she turned her ankle.
Didn't you dance, Joe?
Oh, I'm not so very fond of dancing. And anyway, I was trying to hide this burn on my skirt. I was sitting in a little alcove enjoying myself no end, watching everyone else, when Laurie came up and asked if he might dance with me. He looked so disappointed and hurt when I refused, and as I couldn't think of any other excuse on the spur of the moment, I told him the truth.
You told him about the burn.
Yes, he thought it was a great lark and laughed no end. So we sat and talked a while, and then just before supper, Meg was dancing with the big red-haired youth.
His hair is auburn, not red. And he is a very polite, well-mannered young gentleman.
He looked like a grasshopper in a fit. We couldn't help but laugh. Didn't you hear us?
No, thank goodness. It was very rude of you. It was then that I turned my ankle. Laurie and Mr. Brooke came to my aid.
And I heard Mr. Brooke call the auburn-haired gentleman a careless fellow for dancing too fast and not looking about him.
Then we had supper, during which Joe succeeded in spilling coffee all over her one good glove. And Laurie offered to drive us home.
And home we came, in a closed carriage, feeling very festive and elegant.
Well, my girls, I hope this taste of the high life hasn't made you too discontented with your own lot.
No, Mommy, I don't think fine ladies enjoy themselves one bit more than we do. Despite our burnt hair, old gowns, odd gloves, and tight slippers that sprain our ankles when we are silly enough to wear them.
Now you two go on back up to bed, and no getting up this time. I'll be up in a minute to tuck you in, once again. Good night.
Good night.
Now, Meg dear, let's put some weight on this and see if it's better with the binding.
Yes, that's much better, Marty. He's got handsome brown eyes, hasn't he, Joe?
Laurie's eyes are blue.
No, I meant Mr. Brooke.
Christopher Columbus!
Another cup of tea, Mr. Laurence.
Oh, no, thank you, ma'am. I have had a pleasant sufficiency. What a delightful visit this has been. It was good of you to receive me.
I must say, it is a very special pleasure for me to see you again after so many years. My father always spoke of you with great affection.
We were great friends, and so much of each other until fate sent us our different ways. Just fancy, I knew you as a little girl, and now you have 4 daughters of your own. You know, perhaps, that I had 2 children and lost them both.
I believe you've endured much heartache.
Now, my little daughter died of fever when she was about the age of your youngest girl, and I have never quite reconciled myself to that loss. But as to my son, he was in his early 20s when he met a young Italian lady. But she was lovely and good and in every way accomplished indeed. There was nothing against her but an old man's prejudice. They fell deeply in love and wished to marry, but I had other plans for my son and strongly opposed such an alliance. I should have known better, but stubborn pride would have its way. Within a month they were wed. Does that surprise you very greatly, ma'am?
Not really.
My son had never been strong in his lungs, you know. He needed a warmer climate, so they went to live in Italy. I declined to have anything to do with them, even to see them before they left. I never had the chance to see either of them again. She, poor lady, died in giving birth to Laurie, and 2 months later, my son was laid to rest beside her.
I am sorry. What a terrible loss for you.
No, I realized too late just what I had lost. Pride is a great sin, ma'am. Well, there was only one thing left for me to do. I fetched my grandson home from Italy and have devoted what is left of my life to giving him the same upbringing and education that his father had.
I know you have only the boy's welfare at heart, but if you'll forgive me, he is young and full of life. He needs young society, a measure of amusement, and healthful exercise.
Well, I suspect that you are right, ma'am. If I am inclined to keep him too much to myself and coddle him, it is only because I remember the loss of the others.
That is understandable. But he will grow stronger and study harder with a little recreation among people his own age.
Well, then on your own head be it, Mrs. March, for your young ladies are the nearest young company, and he has already declared that the Marches are regular splendid girls. I shall send him to play you whenever he tires of his studies.
I shall be very pleased to see him again, and I know my girls will make him welcome. Jo will be delighted. She finds it difficult enough to resign herself to not being a boy, and is always deploring a lack of a brother. You saw how anxious she was to get through tea when Laurie was kind enough to just showing her the horses in her stable. Oh, but I'm afraid her enthusiasm sometimes makes her forgetful of manners.
Oh, not at all. I like to see enthusiasm in young people. Besides, their running off to see the horses has enabled us to speak more freely of old times, and nothing bores the young more quickly than that. But where are your other girls? I should like to meet them as well.
Beth and Amy are taking tea upstairs with Meg, who was spending the day in bed. Her ankle was very swollen after that little misadventure last night. I thought the rest would do it good.
Quite so. I am glad that Brooke and Laurie were at hand to be of assistance.
If you would care to come up, I would very much like for you to meet them. You know, to be frank, Beth is very shy of meeting you. I think that is why they asked Lee to take tea upstairs. Oh, for Amy too declared she would not come down without the others.
Frightened of meeting me? Oh, dear me, we must do something to set that right. Now let me see. Isn't Beth the one that I hear playing the piano sometimes when I pass the house?
Yes, she plays quite beautifully, really. But I'm afraid on that piano up in her room, not all the notes are true.
Tea party appears to be over. I expect your grandfather went home. I suppose we missed him by coming around the other way. Good, there's still some of Hannah's fruitcake left. I'm ready for another piece after our walk. Would you like some?
Oh,
Go on, here, catch. An absolutely splendid stable your grandfather has. I'm not sure which horse I like the best.
yes, they are rather fine, I think. Grandpa's first love has always been horses. He used to ride a very great deal when he was younger, but he only goes out in the carriage now.
We thought ourselves very elegant last night and enjoyed our ride home. Oh, that reminds me, did you happen to find a glove in the carriage? In all the excitement, Meg dropped one of hers, and as it was her only good one...
Has she only one good glove, then?
Well, no, but you see, she lent me the other one, and I managed to spill coffee all over that. Oh, but I lent her one of mine, and I was already stained with lemonade. She didn't hear that. Oh. Well, never mind. It's rather too involved to explain. But if the glove does turn up, it belongs to Meg.
If it is to be found, I will recover it.
Thank you, Laurie. I'm sorry to bother you, but as she is staying in bed today, she has nothing to do but fret about little things like that. How about another piece of cake? It's good, isn't it? Oh. You know, Laurie, it's a funny thing, but I thought I was going to be afraid of your grandfather. He looks rather austere and forbidding, but he has kind eyes, though his mouth is grim. And he looks as if he has a tremendous will of his own. Mind you, I don't think he's as handsome as my grandfather, but I like him all the same. It seems to me that he... Oh, well, I guess...
So, you're not afraid of me after all, eh?
Not much, sir.
But you don't think me as handsome as your grandfather, eh?
Not quite, sir.
And I've a tremendous will of my own, have I?
I only said I thought...
And I look austere and forbidding, do I?
Just a little, sir.
But you like me in spite of it all.
Yes, I do, sir.
Capital! You've your grandfather's spirit if you haven't his face. Well, Mrs. March, here's one of your daughters who is not afraid of me, and even approves it with reservations. And now, ma'am, we must make our adieu. Come, Laurie, my boy, we must not overstay our welcome in this hospitable hall. Goodbye, Mrs. March, and again, thank you for receiving me. I hope we shall be seeing more of each other.
Mr. John Brooke.
Look. Have you come to collect your pupil?
Oh, no, sir. I was just passing and thought I would call to inquire after Miss March.
On my soul, ma'am, I do declare, you and your young ladies have taken my entire household by storm. Oh, and what's this? And flowers, too. Oh, my, such gallantry.
Just a little nosegay to cheer the invalid, Mrs. March. That is all.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Brooke. How very kind of you. I will just see Mr. Laurence out, and then I'll be right with you. Please make yourself at home.
Goodbye for now, John. I'll have a thorough search for that glove and see if I can find it.
Goodbye, Miss March. Happy New Year, too.
Good night.
Hello, Glory.
Thank you, Beth. You played more beautifully than ever.
So much of that is due to Mr. Laurence, letting me go over and practice on his grand piano all these months. That helped me improve such a lot. But then to give me this, although I've had it a whole week now, I can hardly believe it.
He has been wonderfully kind, and to have given you the piano that once belonged to his own little daughter makes it a very special gift.
Wish I might die if it ain't about the handsomest present I ever did see. Not that the dear lamb don't deserve it.
I think he was very touched by those slippers you made for him, Beth.
Oh, they were just something to thank you for all his kindness to me. I thought the slippers might give you both comfort and pleasure.
And such slippers, too. My, how you worked on them. I declare, it must have taken a tidy lot of patience just to embroider all those little mauve pansy flowers.
They're not pansy flowers, Anna. They're heart ease.
So they've got some other fancy name. That don't make them no easier to embroider. Now do it.
Oh, Beth, do read Mr. Lawrence's letter again. I just love to hear it. Miss March, dear Madam. Oh, doesn't that sound elegant? I wish someone would write to me like that.
Amy, do you want to hear the letter or don't you? Go on, Beth, dear.
I have had many pairs of slippers in my life, but I have never had any that suited me so well as yours. Heartsease is my favorite flower, and these will always remind me of the gentle giver. I like to pay my debts, so I know you will allow the old gentleman to send you something which once belonged to the little daughter he lost. With hearty thanks and best wishes, I remain your grateful friend and humble servant, James March. Your humble servant? Isn't that so gracious and refined? Do you suppose I shall ever be just like that?
I guess it don't cost none to hope. Land sakes, look at the time. I must get back to putting up them preserves so they'll never be done. Thank you for the music, Miss Beth. It was very pretty.
Mr. Lawrence has become a very dear friend to us these past few months. And I must admit that he takes as much interest in you girls as if you were his own. Naturally, that pleases me. I am glad for his sake as well. It has brought him out of his seclusion a little. Oh, Meg, come in.
Hello, Meg. And where have you been calling in your best dress and bonnet?
At Mrs. Gardner's. They had been telling me all about Belmofat's wedding. Well, apparently, it was a very splendid affair, and the honeymoon is being spent in Paris. Oh, just think how romantic that must be.
You envy her, Meg.
I'm afraid I do.
Joe will be pleased.
What do you mean?
She says that if you care about riches, you will never go and marry a poor man.
I shall never go and marry anyone.
Joe thinks so. She thinks Mr. Brooke is
Amy, that will do. What Joe means is that she is so fond of us as a united family that she can't bear to see us parted, even by marriage. But that will come in time.
Won't you mind it, Mother?
I shall mind it very much, Beth. But it is only the natural order of things. Oh, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see you all well and wisely married, leading useful, pleasant lives, with as little care and sorrow as God sees fit to send. Oh, to be loved and chosen by a good man is the best and sweetest thing that can happen to a woman. And I sincerely hope all of my daughters may know that beautiful experience. I'm ambitious for you, of course, and not to make a dash in the world, to marry rich men merely because they are rich. I'd rather be poor men's wives, happy, contented, and beloved, than queens on thrones without any peace of mind or self-respect.
Belle says that poor girls don't stand any chance unless they put themselves forward.
Then we'll be old maids.
Better to be happy old maids than unhappy wives or unmaidenly girls running out to get husbands. Do not fret on this, Meg. Poverty seldom daunts a sincere lover. Leave these things to time, my dear. Where is Jo? She is late getting back from Aunt March today, isn't she?
Yes. Oh, she said something about having to go to town on her way home. She made it sound rather mysterious. She's been behaving very oddly the last week or two. I can't make it out. She rushes to the door whenever the postman comes, and then moons about if there's no letter for her. And she and Laurie are forever whispering in corners, as if they were up to something.
I don't know when they are not up to something. Jo has always been a harum-scarum, but since we've known Laurie, she seems to have been 1,000 times worse. Only yesterday, I found them having a contest to see who could leap the highest over the gate into the meadow.
Oh, how very unladylike!
I am sure they are very good for each other. Jo finally has the brother she has always wanted, and Laurie seems far happier than he used to be. Still, she has been rather restless lately.
What do you think that means, Marty? I think we have
Oh,
to...
there she comes. Oh, Mother, really? Now she's running along like a wild thing with her body hanging down her back and all her ribbons flying. And there's Laurie chasing along after her.
What on earth is she doing waving that newspaper in the air like a flag?
What shall we do with that girl? She never will behave like a young lady.
It's very trying. I wish she'd be a little more Connie LaFeau.
Amy, you shouldn't wish to want to alter your sister. We all have our own characters and failings. Besides, I rather fancy Jo will outgrow her tomboyishness in a year or two. Jo! Marty, look! Just look! Oh, really, Jo, whatever...
Please excuse the noise, Mrs. March. But we are just so excited with this, that we...
Jo, what are you talking about?
Oh, for goodness sake, what has happened?
This!
What is it, Mother?
Oh, Marty, please read it to us. Please.
The Rival Painters, a charming story of the romantic world of art by Miss Josephine March.
You? Your little sister. Oh, I knew it. Oh, my Jo, I'm so proud.
It nearly covers the whole page. However much did you get for it, though?
I didn't think they'd really publish it, and I didn't say anything to anyone about it because I didn't want anyone else to be disappointed. Marnie, please say something. You aren't that started.
That's my dear Jo. I'm so proud and thrilled, I hardly know what to say.
Tell us what happened. How did you manage to get them to print it? Tell us what happened.
Oh, Jo, what will Father say when he hears?
How much did you get for it, Jo?
Stop jabbering, girls, and I'll tell you everything. As you know, I've been scribbling away at stories and things ever since I could write. Well, the past year or so, I've been working even harder, and I finished 7 or 8 stories, which were about as good as I could make them. I thought to myself, there, I've done my best. If that won't suit, I shall have to wait till I can do better. But I did want to know if they were good enough to be published. So about 10 days ago, I picked out the 2 I liked the best, and screwing up all my courage, went off to the newspaper office.
I saw her going in. She was behaving very suspiciously. So I waited till she came out.
You didn't have to wait long. The editor man was very brief. Said he would read them and get me his answer this week. I was out in the street again before I knew what had happened, and being played by this wretched boy to know what I had been up to. Well, I just had to tell him to keep it quiet from here. He might have spoiled it all.
Oh, go on, Jo. What did the newspaper man say when he went back? Oh, yes, do tell us.
He said that really like them both, but the paper didn't pay beginners. They only printed the stories and reviewed them. Once the beginners improved, he said anyone would pay. So I let him have the two. And today the first has been published. Lori's read it and thinks it's good.
It is.
And I have 6 more stories upstairs, and perhaps I might actually sell them.
Hurrah for Miss Josephine March, the celebrated authoress.
Oh, Marty, please maybe take it out to show Hannah. Oh, she'll be so surprised at what she calls that Joe's doing.
Oh, yes, Mommy. Please read it to us.
Well, it will have to be in the kitchen then, for Hannah will not leave her preserves again. And I don't suppose you'll want to wait until she is finished? My dear Joe, I am so proud I hardly know what to say. You have worked so hard at your writing, and you deserve success. But dear, don't let that success spoil you or the quality of your writing.
Oh, I won't, Mommy, I won't. I only want to do the best I can, always.
And I know you'll always try. Good gracious, it is getting late. Don't you have to be leaving for the theater soon? And aren't you going to go up and tidy up? Maggie's dressed, ready to go.
Need I bother, Mommy? I love getting all dressed up to go anywhere. And I should be much more comfortable in these clothes.
That would not be much of a compliment to your escorts. At least go upstairs and put on your new bonnet, and you may borrow my cream shawl. It is there on the chair by my
That
bed.
is about all you will have time for now. Oh, the excitement over Joe's stories made me forgetful. I must go and see on the carriage at once, or we shall be late.
Thank you and Mr. Book for escorting Meg and Joe. I know they'll have all the more fun in your company.
It is a privilege to be entrusted with such precious charges, ma'am.
Christopher Columbus, go on with you.
Good evening. Now I must go to the kitchen for this great reading ceremony. I am all curiosity to know more about the rival painters in their romantic world of art. Joe, you were back already. Well, I'll say my goodnights now then, girls. Have a wonderful time. Oh, good night, Rose. Good night.
I expect Mr. Brooke will be all courtesy and attention to you as usual.
I am sure he is equally courteous and attentive to all of us. Though he gets little enough encouragement from you, Joe. You really are very rude to him at times.
I don't intend to encourage him. I think it was a great mistake of Marmy's allowing him to give you those German lessons. He seems to be always in and out of the house these days.
So is Lori, for that matter.
That's different. Lori comes to see all of us, or to ask us on a picnic, or skating, or to the theater where we can all be friends together. But Mr. Brooke comes here just to look how I did you.
Joe, you are most unjust. Why are you so much against him?
Since you ask, I'll tell you. I've been watching him, and I believe he means to take you away from us.
What nonsense. And you dramatize everything. Not that there is anything in what you say, but supposing that the boot was on the other foot, you'd feel very differently if somebody came to take you away.
I'd like to see him try it. I'm sorry, Ned. I'm a silly, jealous thing, I suppose. It's just that I love a few people very dearly, and I would hate to lose their affection or have it lessened in any way. I am looking forward to this visit to the theater. Do you realize it will be the first time we've been without the others? It's quite an adventure.
Yes, but I'm afraid I feel a little guilty.
Why, for goodness sake?
You see, I haven't had the heart to tell Amy that we're going without her.
Why ever not?
She's a little jealous of some of the privileges we enjoy as older girls, and I thought she would fret if she knew she hadn't been invited.
Well, she'll have to know sooner or later. And anyway, she's going to the theater with Beth and Hannah next week. And she's had a cold, and I know Marmee doesn't want her out just yet.
Well, I know, but
Come on, Meg. Aren't you coming to hear the story? Mommy's just going to read it to us and... Where are you two going?
Never mind. Little girls shouldn't ask questions.
I think that you might let me know.
well, dear, you see,
Meg, be quiet before you spoil it all. You can't go, Amy, so don't be a baby and whine about it.
You're going somewhere with Lori. I know you are. You two were laughing and whispering last night when I came in here. And you stopped when you saw me. You are going somewhere with him, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Now, do be still and stop bothering.
we're going with Mr. Brooke and Lori to the theater.
Let me go too. I've got some money, and Mommy said I might go. It was mean of you not to
go out this week as you've had a bad cold and it's not quite well yet. Next week you can go with Beth and Hannah as arranged.
I don't like that half as well as going with you, Lauren, and Mr. Brooke in a carriage. Oh, please let me go, Meg. I've been shut up with this cold for ever so long, and I'm dying for some fun. Beth had a piano given to her, and Jo took all the excitement about her story. And now you're off to the theater, and I haven't had anything. It just isn't fair. Oh, please let me go, Meg. I'll be ever so good.
Suppose we take her, Jo. Oh, I don't believe Mother would mind if we wrapped her up well.
If she goes, I shan't. And if I don't go, Lori won't like it. Besides, it would be very rude to go and drag an Amy when only we have been invited. And I should think she would hate to poke herself in where she isn't wanted.
I shall go. Meg said I may, and if I pay for myself, then no one else has anything to do with it.
You can't sit with us, for our seats are reserved. And you mustn't sit alone. Lori or Mr. Brooke would have to give you their seat, and that would ruin our pleasure. Or they would buy you a seat, and that wouldn't be proper when you weren't asked. You shan't stir a step, so you may just stay where you are.
Oh, now, Amy, dear. Oh, please do try to understand. You see, Mr. Brooke and Lori did have...
Here's the carriage. Come along, Meg. You're late already. Leave the silly girl.
You'll be sorry for this, Jo March. You see if you're not.
Oh, fiddlestick.
Play anymore, just married.
Is anything the matter, Amy? You've been so quiet with John all day.
No, I'm all right. I expect this is cold. I still have it about me a bit.
I wondered if you were very upset after that dreadful quarrel you had with Joe yesterday. I could hear you shouting with the girl in the kitchen.
Well, she vexed me beyond endurance.
No, Mr. Brooke and Lori had asked only them to go.
I know, but Joe needn't be so worried about it.
Aren't these lovely? Poor father is ashamed. Just when his rose bushes are more beautiful than they have ever been. He's far away and can't see them. Has the postman been?
Not yet. Oh, I think the mail must be late.
It must be. It's our day for a letter from father. Oh, and his letters are as regular as the sun. Where is everyone?
Marmy is turning out to look in the cupboard, and Joel has just gone into her attic. Wasn't that a splendid story of hers, the rival painter? Oh, I'm so pleased. Has anyone taken my book?
What book, Joe?
The manuscript of my 6 other stories. I copied them out, ready in case they should be wanted, and made them into a little book. I left it on my desk, but it isn't there. I've searched everywhere for it, but I just can't find it. Are you sure you haven't seen it anywhere?
No, I'm afraid not.
Joe, how dreadful.
Are you quite sure you left it up there?
Quite. Amy, you got it.
No, I haven't.
You know where it is then.
No, I don't.
That's a fib.
It isn't. I don't know where it is now, and I don't care.
Well, you know something about it, and you'd better tell it once or I'll make you.
Hold as much as you like. You'll never see a silly old book again.
Why not? What do you mean?
Because I burnt it.
What? The manuscript of my 6 other stories that I've worked at so hard? You burned them just now and I might be able to sell them?
Yes, I have. I told you I'd make you pay for being so cross and hard yesterday, and I have.
You wicked, wicked girl! I shall never
You two ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Joe, I am surprised at such behavior.
She burnt the manuscript of my 6 other stories. It was the only copy I had and she burnt it!
Amy, what have you done? Those stories were the pride of Joe's heart. She has worked at them patiently, putting her whole heart into them, hoping to produce something good enough to print. You have destroyed the loving work of several years. Why, Amy? Why? Has it something to do with that quarrel you had yesterday?
Oh yes, Marmy. I did it in a bit of anger, and I feel dreadful ever since. Whatever am I to do?
Well, first, you must ask Joe's forgiveness. Then we'll see what we can do to make some sort of amends. Beth, dear, please go with us, Joe. Joe, where are you going?
Out, Mommy. I must go out and walk or I shall burst.
Before you go, dear, I think Amy has something to say to you.
Please forgive me, Joe. I am very, very sorry.
I shall never forgive you as long as I live.
Joe, please do not go out in anger like this. I appeal to you to forgive your sister and make things right between you.
It was an abominable thing to do, and she doesn't deserve to be forgiven.
Now, Amy, you have done wrong, and Joe is quite naturally upset. But perhaps, after her walk, she'll feel better, and then you again must ask her to forgive you and to make some sort of amends for what you have done. Maybe she...
Mommy, I met Lori outside. He's just come from the telegraph office. They gave him... Mommy, it's a telegram from Washington. Your husband very ill with fever. Come at once. Medical officer in charge. Military Hospital, Washington.
Lord, keep that dear man. I won't waste no time crying, Mom, and start to get your things ready to go right away.
Hannah is right. There is no time for twos now. We must remain calm, girls, and think about what must be done. Where's Lori?
Here, ma'am. Oh, please let me do something to help.
Please, take a telegram to this address. Tell them I will come at once. If there is a train in about 3 hours' time, I shall take that.
Is there nothing else I can do? My horse is ready. I'll go anywhere. Do anything.
Perhaps you would take a note to Aunt March?
Of course.
Meg, dear, please go upstairs and help Hannah bring the black trunk down from the attic. She won't be able to manage alone. And then perhaps you and Beth would help take my clothes out to pack. Amy's here. In the kitchen cupboard are those 2 bottles of old wine that Mr. Laurence gave us at Christmas. I shall take them for Father. He must have the best of everything.
What am I to do to help, Mommy?
I want you to go down to the Soldiers' Aid Society and tell Mrs. King what has happened. Explain to her that I must go to Washington and I will not be able to help for a while. Along the way, there are some things I want you to pick up for me. There. Now, Lori, don't kill yourself riding at too desperate a pace. There is no need of that.
Yes, ma'am.
I must go prepared for nursing. Alas, hospital stores are not always good, and I do not want to be short of anything.
You've written to ask Aunt March to lend you money, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I do not have enough for so long a journey. I do not know how long I shall be away, but it is only a loan, and I am not too proud to beg for Father.
Mommy, if only I had earned enough to be able to give you something, so I didn't have to ask favors from Aunt March. She didn't approve of Father's going to the war in the first place, and now she'll be able to groan and say, I told you so.
Hush now, my dear. We should be grateful we have her return to in times of distress. You shall help and pay me back later on. Will that satisfy you? Now, weigh on your errands. Your time is precious, and there is much to be done.
Good evening, Mr. Lawrence. Mother's in the parlor. She will be glad to see you. Go right in.
My dear lady, Laurie has told me your news. I'm so very distressed and have come over to know if there is anything I can do to be of service. I have taken the liberty of arranging for the carriage to take you and your boxes to the station when you are ready. But is there anything else I can do to be of help?
Thank you, but I think not.
May I perhaps offer myself as escort? The journey to Washington for a woman
My
traveling
dear
alone.
friend, thank you from my heart, but I have to say no. True, anxiety ill fits one for traveling, but it is a long journey, and I fear you would find it much too exhausting.
Well, we will see what can be done. For I am not easy in my mind that you should travel alone.
My dear friend, it will give you greater ease of heart by remaining here and watching over my little family while I am away from them.
Oh, that I will do, and gladly. I will look after them as if they were my own.
Our dear friends.
Be comforted, dear lady. There is always light behind the clouds.
Oh, Mr. Laurence, I feel I must open my heart to someone. I dare not admit it to the girls, for I do not wish to distress them any more than is necessary. But though I have hope, I pray I'm not too late.
Right here, Hannah?
Thanks, Miss Lori. Now I must go finish packing their basket of victuals for Mrs. Martin's journey. She'll need a bite to eat going all that way.
Is Joe back yet, Hannah?
No, she ain't. Blessed if I know where that harum-scarum has got to. I want to close the medicine box, but I can't do it till she comes back from the nature mom center to get.
That was nearly 2 hours ago. Well, where could she be?
Good Lord only knows.
I think I'll go down the road and see if she's coming. Oh, perhaps it's her now.
Don't see as how she'd be ringing the bell. Will you see who it is, Mr. Lori, please? There's a tiny lot to do yet.
Oh, hello, Mr. Brooke. Will you go in? Someone will be down in a minute. Sure. I'm just off to look for Joe.
Mr. Brooke. Miss March. I'm extremely sorry to hear the news of your father. I have come to offer myself as escort to your mother. Mr. Laurence has some commissions for me in Washington, and it will give me real satisfaction to be service to Mrs. March while I'm there.
How kind you all are. Mother will accept, I'm sure. It will be such a relief to know that she has someone to take care of her. Thank you very much, Mr. Brooke. I want you to sit down. I just made Mother some tea. Perhaps you'd like to join her? A hot drink will help fortify you for your journey.
Thank you. I should like that.
There's Mother's basket of victuals, as Cat called it. I should think there's enough to feed a family for a fortnight.
It's not only for the journey, Amy. Hannah has packed all sorts of good things for Father to make him well again. Oh, good evening, Mr. Brooke.
Good evening, Mr. Brooke.
Good evening, Beth. Good evening, Amy.
Mr. Brooke has come to escort Mother to Washington. I think that's splendid. Amy, dear, would you go upstairs, please? Tell Mother that Mr. Brooke is here and that I've made some tea for her. Oh, Ben. Mr. Brooke would like some tea also. Would you fetch another cup and saucer, please? It will be very strange here. Mr. Brooke, without your calling to see us and without Mother and...
I too am going to miss coming to see you. All of it. Very much.
There's no sign of Joe anywhere. I can't think of why she's so late. She didn't have far to go. I don't want to alarm your mother, Meg, but I'm beginning to wonder...
Mr. Brooke, Amy has been telling me the reason for your call. Thank you very much for offering to escort me. I must say it is a great help and comfort, for I was not looking forward to so long a journey alone.
Thank you. But had it not been for some commissions which Mr. Lawrence is anxious for me to attend to,
Then we must be grateful to Mr. Lawrence for so conveniently remembering those commissions just at this time. I have true friends indeed. Your tea, Marty. And Mr. Brooke.
Excuse me, Mom. I've more or less finished packing everything, but as soon as I get the medicines and things to Miss Joe, I can close the hospital box.
Joe, isn't she back yet? Oh, she should have been here long before this. Meg, you don't think that...
Oh, no, Marmy. Oh, of course not. She'll turn up all right.
I think I see her coming now. Yes, it is. It's all right, Mrs. March. She's safe and sound. And in a careening hurry, as usual.
That's my contribution, Mommy, towards making Father better and bringing him home safe and sound.
$25. My dear, where did you get it?
I earned it. I didn't beg, borrow, or steal it. And I don't think you'll blame me for I only stole what was my own. Oh, your hair! Your beautiful hair, you had it cut off.
Oh, Joe, how could you? It was your one beauty. She doesn't look like my Joe anymore, but I love her dearly for it.
Well done, Joe. It makes you more boyish than ever.
So, my dear, there was no need of this.
It doesn't have to create the nation. It will freshen my brains to have that mop taken off, and it will be good for my vanity. I was getting far too proud of my hair. So please take the money, Marmee, and say no more about it.
Well, I can't be cross, for I think I can guess what it cost you to make such a sacrifice. But I should like to know a little more about it.
Oh, yes. Whatever made you do it? I don't think I could bear to touch any of my beautiful hair.
I was wild to do something for Father. I thought how nice it might be if Marmee had something extra that she didn't expect. I was wild to do something, so I was determined. If I sold the nose right off my face to get it.
I'm afraid you're going to regret it one of these days.
No, Marmee, I won't. I hadn't the slightest idea to sell my hair at first. But then I saw in a barber's window tails of hair hanging with the prices marked. And it came to me all of a sudden that I had one thing to make money out of. So without stopping to think, I walked in and asked if they bought hair and what they would give me for mine.
How did you dare to do it?
What did the barber have to say?
He rather stared at first, as if he weren't used to having girls just pop into the shop and ask them to buy their hair. Then he said he didn't care for mine. It wasn't the fashionable color, and the work put into it made it dear, and so on and so on. Well, it was getting late, so I begged him to take it, and I told him why I was in such a hurry. It was a dreadful thing to do, I dare say, but it changed his mind, and he agreed to take it for $25.
Didn't you feel dreadful when he started to cut it off?
Well, I never snivel over trifles like that. I will confess, though, that it felt rather odd, seeing the dear old hair laid out on the table before me, and feeling only the short ends on my head. The man saw me staring at it, and picked out a long lock for me to keep. I'll give it to you, Marmee, as a little reminder of past glories. For a crop is so comfortable, I don't think I shall ever have a mane again.
Thank you, my dear.
Joe, I think you have been very brave.
Oh, yes. It must have been nearly as bad as having a tooth out. It was a lovely thought. Give something of your own to a father.
And it won't take such a tiny time to wash and dry your hair now.
Well, it was a wonderful idea. Forgive me for intruding, ma'am, but the train leaves in less than an hour. I think perhaps Gloria and I should get your boxes onto the porch, ready to load into the carriage.
Yes,
We'll be here shortly.
of course, Mr. Roper. Thank you very much. You're going to be a great help to me.
Oh, Lord, the hospital box.
Well, my girls, I'm assuming you started my long journey. I leave you in Hannah's care and Mr. Lawrence's protection. Hannah is faithfulness itself. Our good neighbor will watch over you as if you were his own. I have no fears for you, but I'm anxious that you take this trouble in the right spirit. Do not fret on the way, but go on with your work as usual. The work is a help and solace in these times. Hope and pray. In any perplexity, go to Mr. Lawrence and do everything you can to help and cheer one another.
Oh, we'll be good, Marmee, promise.
Now, before I go, I believe we have time to sing one hymn, as usual. What shall it be?
Let it be Father's favorite.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
used to it. Only at first, I felt as though there had been an earthquake. Well, I suppose I'd better get on.
Whatever are you fussing about for with the duster on a Sunday morning? I cleaned this room thoroughly only yesterday.
Yes, Joe, I know you did. But you forget that Aunt Marge said she would call on her way from morning service to see how we are getting on. I'm just not going to give her the chance to say that we aren't looking after things properly. And if there's a speck of dust anywhere, she'll spot it.
Fiddlesticks to Aunt March. I can't see that it would matter to her if you're all knee-deep in dust.
It matters to me. How are you getting on with that weekly dispatch to Washington?
I have only a few more lines to write, and then you can add your messages. I told Marmy how glad we are that Father's at last in his strength. And I must admit that although it made me absolutely bilious to see the way Mr. Brooks used to moon around him before he went away, he was a real trump to telegraph to us the minute Father took a turn for the better.
He is so thoughtful, isn't he? What a help he has been to Mother and Father. You know, Joe, when I saw him standing by Marmy just before they left, he looked so strong and sensible, kind. He made me think of Mr. Greatheart in Pilgrim's Progress.
Oh, Christmas. I should have known better than to bring up his name. There, I finished. Would you like me to get on with the dusting while you add Laurence home?
Where's Beth? She said she was coming to help me hand in the vegetables for dinner.
She went to stop by the Hummels on our way home from early service this morning. I don't suppose she's back yet.
I think she is, for I heard her come in some time ago, but I don't know what's happened to her since.
I expect she's busy upstairs.
Beth? 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 Beth?
I hope Beth is all right. She's not been looking very well these last few days. I'm afraid she's been doing too much since Mother went away. But she's always so anxious to help and do what she calls her fair share.
Yes, but the trouble is, she always does a great deal more than her fair share. And a good many other things as well. The Hummels, for instance. She visits them regularly.
Yes, the Hummels. You know, Joe, we promised Mother that we wouldn't forget them, and that we would visit them, especially when the cold weather came. I believe Beth is the only one of us who has kept that promise.
Well, there's always so much to do at home, besides our ordinary work.
Mother always found time to spare for them, when Beth has been just as busy as the rest of us. She did ask me to go with her last week. She said something about the baby not being well, and not being sure what to do for it. But I was trying to finish off that new dress. Said I couldn't manage to go just then.
Yes, she told me the baby was poorly. I believe the eldest child, Lofton, looks after it while Mrs. Hummel goes out to work.
Oh, but she is only 12, and has all the other children to care for as well.
We'll go tomorrow and see what we can do to help. I wonder if we should... Christopher Columbus! What's the matter, Beth?
You both had scarlet fever, haven't you? So I offered to nurse the baby while she attended to them. But all of a sudden, it trembled and gave out a little cry. I tried to warm its feet, and Lockin gave it some milk. Oh, but it didn't stir. And then I knew it must be dead.
Oh, don't cry, dear. What did you do?
I just sat there and held the little body till Mrs. Hummel came back with the doctor. He examined it and said that the cause of death was scarlet fever, and that he should have been called before. Mrs. Hummel tried to explain to him that she was poor, and tried to cure the baby herself. And then suddenly, he told me to go home at once. Oh, he thinks I might have caught it too.
Beth, if you should be sick, I could never forgive myself. Meg, what shall we do?
If only Mother were at home. You've been in to see the baby several times this last week, haven't you, Beth? And among the other children who are probably going to have the fever too. I'm afraid it's quite likely that you'll go down with it as well, dear. I'm going to call for Hannah. She showed me through it. She'll know what to do.
Don't let Amy come in here. If she hasn't had it, I should hate to pass it on to her. Joe, are you quite sure that you and I can't have it over again?
I don't think so. And anyway, it serves me right, letting you go down the Hummels all alone, while all I was doing was writing rubbish upstairs.
You mustn't say that, Joe. It's not rubbish. Your stories of you... I think I'll go upstairs and lie down for a while.
Are you feeling worse, Pet?
Well, my head aches, and I feel rather hot. I shall be better lying down.
Land sakes, child, why didn't you tell me before that she was feeling ill?
She's going up to bed, Hannah.
Best thing to do. I told Miss Meg that if it is a fever, we best pack Amy off to your Aunt March for a spell. Keep her out of harm's way. Now come along, my lamb, up to bed with you.
All right, Hannah, I'll see who it is.
Steady on, Joe. What's going on?
You've had the scarlet fever, haven't you, Lori? I remember you telling me you had it when you were very young.
Yes, why should you?
It's Beth. We think she may have caught it, and we don't want any chance of passing it on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do to help?
Nothing at the moment. But if it is as bad as we fear, Amy shall have to go and stay with Aunt March until Beth is better. Meg is in the kitchen now breaking the news to her, but if I know Amy, Meg won't have an easy task, for Aunt March rather terrifies her. Lori, Amy is rather fond of you and takes notice of what you say. Try and make her see that it is only for her own good. We have to send her to stay with
I'll
Aunt.
try to do it.
There's my good boy. Now I must go off and see if I can help Hannah. You wait here in case you are needed.
All right.
No, Meg, no. I'd rather have the fever 10 times over than go to Aunt March.
My dear, if Beth is really ill, we shall be busy nursing her. And it would be no good to anyone if you were sick too.
I don't wish to be sent off as if I were in the way. And anyways, everything is always so grim at Aunt March's with her orders and things to do, and lectures on how one should behave. I should have to do all the things Joe does, like feeding that awful parrot. It always screams at me when I go near it, and it pecks at my hair. And I cannot endure her fat, cross, little beast of a dog either, for it smells me up whenever it sees me. And the cook is so bad-tempered, I dare not go near the kitchen. And the coachman is
Whoa! There is no need to go on and on and on. We gather that you don't greatly relish to stay with your Aunt March, but you must be a sensible woman and do as the others say. You don't want to be sick, do you?
No, I'm sure I don't. But I dare say I shall be, for I've been with them all the time.
That's the very reason you want to go away at once, so that you may escape. A change of air will keep you well. And I advise you to be off as soon as you can. Scarlet fever is no joke, miss.
But everything is always so grim at Aunt March's, with her lectures and things to do. It's like orphans in the underworld.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you go stay with your Aunt March, I promise to come visit you each day and take you out walking or driving. Now that wouldn't be so grim, would it? With me popping in to give you news of Beth and the other girls. The old lady likes me, and I'll be as sweet as possible to her to make things easy for you.
Will you take me out in the trotting wagon with the new pony
On my honor as a gentleman.
and come every single day
See if I don't.
and bring me back the minute Beth as well?
The identical minute.
And perhaps take me to the theater?
A dozen theaters if necessary, Amy.
Well, all right then. If Beth is truly ill, then I'll go.
Good girl.
Oh, thank you, Lori. Now, Amy, I'm going to fetch the doctor at once. I believe the sooner that Beth is under his care, the better. Now, Aunt March will be here shortly, so just be a good girl and do as you were asked.
Oh, thank you, Lori. You're a real trump.
How is Beth?
I think she feels a little better now that she's lying down. The baby's death has upset her a great deal. Poor dear. What a trying world it is. No sooner do we get out of one trouble than down comes another. There doesn't seem to be anything to hold on to without Mommy here, so I'm all at sea.
Well, haul in your topsail, Joe. And tell me if I should telegraph to her.
That's what bothers me. You see, I think we ought to tell her if Beth really is ill, but And Hannah says we mustn't. Her father's not yet well enough to have Marmee leave, and it would only make them anxious. Marmee told us to mind what Hannah says, so I suppose we must. But it just doesn't seem quite right to me.
I don't know what to say. Suppose you ask Grandpa after the doctor's been.
Yes, that seems the sensible thing to do. Lori, be a dear and do one more good turn for us today.
Yours to command, ma'am.
Stay and play up to Aunt March a little when she arrives, so she'll be kinder about having Amy. Amy, I'm going upstairs to pack a few things for you, so you'll be ready to go with Aunt March if it is necessary. Remember your promise now, Amy.
Well, everyone seems to have made up their minds that I shall go and stay with Aunt March. But if I do have to, no one ever knows what might happen to me there. So I think I better give you my will, just in case.
Your what?
My will. My last will and testament. I drew it up a while ago and put it in my drawing book for safekeeping.
Are you really sure this is necessary, Amy?
Life is uncertain, and I don't want any ill feeling over my tomb.
But why give it to me?
I want you to read it through to see if it is legal and right, and then like it for me.
I, Amy Curtis March, being in of my sane mind and in full possession of all my earthly senses, do hereby from
I
henceforth...
don't think that it should be read aloud until after I'm dead.
What? Oh. Sorry. Where was I? To my sister Margaret, I leave my turquoise ring. Amy, are you sure you spelled turquoise with a K?
I wouldn't have shown it to you if I thought you were going to take it full bowl. You'll be sorry after I'm gone. I suppose that it's all that's necessary is for you to witness my signature. And now, having disposed of my most valuable property, I hope all will be satisfied and not blame the dead. I forgive everyone, and trust we may all meet when the last trump shall sound. Amen. To this will and testament, I set my hand on the seal on this 20th day of November, Annie Domino, 1861. Amy Curtis March. Now, Lori, just sign your name below mine. Don't people put sort of postscripts to their wills?
Yes, codicils they call them.
Put one to mine, then I shall wish all my curls to be cut off and given around to my friends. I forgot it, but I want it done, though it will spoil my looks.
What's this I hear? You're going to have all your hair cut off like that muddle-headed sister of yours? Mercy heavens! If this sort of thing continues, it won't be long before this house looks like a convict cell.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We didn't hear you ring.
Ring, Newman? What is the purpose of my ringing, I should like to know? If there is sickness in the house, there is no point in my setting up a great jangle of bells every 5 minutes. I just walk straight in.
Oh, Aunt March, thank goodness you've come.
Well, I've just seen your sister Meg. She came jumping out in front of my carriage to attract my attention, like a demented dervish. Frightened the coachman out of his wits. It's a wonder the horses didn't follow. Going for the doctor, she tells me. Now, what is this about Beth being laid up with the scarlet fever?
We are not sure, Aunt March, but we think she may have caught it.
That is no surprise. It's a wonder with the way you're always dealing with poor folks that you don't all have something. I'm always telling your mother the same thing, but I might just as well save my breath. And what are you doing here, Mr. Laurence?
I came to see
And you, Amy? Nothing about the usual, I see.
We are worried about Amy, Aunt March. You see, she hasn't had the fever yet, and, well, we wondered if she might come and stay with you until it is all over.
Well, suppose she could come and stay. If she makes herself useful, and she isn't sick, although she certainly looks like she's going to be. Don't snivel, child. I hate it when people make that noise.
Thank you, Aunt March. It will be such...
Now, you will be wanting to nurse your sister and take care of things here. So Amy may take over your task. And I'm not at all sure she won't do them a great deal better. I know for a fact that my sweet moth and Polly, my parrot, quite adore her.
But Aunt March, they
Now,
always...
what have you heard from your mother?
Father's much better, I'm glad to say.
Oh, is he? Well, that won't last long. Much never did have much stamina. Now with your mother off chasing him in Washington, it wouldn't surprise me if they go to
I hope you will have no objection, ma'am. If I come to visit Amy each day while she's staying with you, I could take her out driving for an hour or so, and give her news of Beth and the other girls.
Merciful heavens. We have it all arranged, haven't we? I don't think it would be at all proper for her to go gadding about with a reputed boy while she is in my care. What happens in this house, now that is
I don't think
matter.
there's any doubt that Miss Amy has that Miss Beth has the scarlatina mom. I've seen the symptoms before. I reckon the sooner that Miss Amy is out of this house, the better, just to be on the safe side. Now I must go get some warm water to bathe that poor baby upstairs.
I hope it will not inconvenience you too greatly, Aunt Margaret.
It seems to me that everything was very neatly planned before I arrived. So let us not discuss what is or is not convenient to me. See to it that Beth has everything she needs, and you may tell the doctor he may send the bills to me. Well, child, are you coming with me or not? There's not much time to waste. Today may be Sunday, but we do not spend it in idle self-indulgences.
I don't think I'll be able to bear it, but I'll try.
Heavens, what a cheerless object. One would think you were going off to your execution.
I feel as though I am.
The doctor here, Joe. Yes. He's upstairs now. He told me to come down and rest while he's down with Beth. How can I rest when she is up there? Meg, why doesn't he do something to make her better?
He's been doing all he can do. Now he's coming in twice a day. We can't expect any more. And you can't go on like this. You'll be ill yourself. You've hardly closed your eyes for 3 days now.
I can't leave her now. While you've been out, she's been worse. Tossing about, talking that hoarse, broken voice. Even trying to sing. Her hands lay on her little coverlet as if it were her beloved piano. Only she knew us when we spoke to her. And worst of all, she keeps calling out imploringly for Marmee.
Can't help feeling that we ought to have sent for Mother. But Hannah has been so adamant about not worrying her or Father.
How dark the days seem now. And the house seems even sadder and lonelier than ever.
It's bitterly cold outside. I think we shall have snow later tonight. I mailed the letter to Mother. But I feel so guilty writing to her as if nothing were wrong. And not mentioning Beth's illness.
Meg, it doesn't seem so long ago we were complaining about every little hardship. Now here we are with so much that we hold dear hanging in the balance.
Hannah, what is it? The doctor thinks your mom should be sent for.
She isn't. She can't be.
The poor little lamb is about as ill as she can be. She's taken a turn for the worse today. The doctor ain't sure how things may go, but he reckons she'll reach a crisis in the next hour or so.
We have to do something. We can't just sit here.
Nothing we can do. This is a battle she'll have to fight all on her own. The doctor's given her some sort of powder and wants to sit with her a spell until it takes effect. I just came downstairs for the telegram we wrote out for your mom, if it was needed. The doctor said he would drop her by the telegraph office on his way home. He thought it would save us a trip on this cold night. I'm sorry, my dears. I guess I was wrong. We should have sent for your mom when you wanted to. But I thought your pa needed her
and see if the doctor needs anything.
If life is often so hard as this, I don't see how we shall ever get through it.
I wish I had no heart. Mine aches too much.
If God spares death, I will never complain again. Ever. I promise.
Hello, Joe. What's the news? I saw the doctor out earlier, but I couldn't wait any longer.
The doctors told us to send for Mother.
It's not as bad as that, is it?
Yes, it is, Lori. She doesn't know us. She doesn't even look like my Beth anymore. And there's no one here to help us bear it. Mother and Father aren't here, and God seems so far away that I can't find him.
I'm here, Joe. Hold on to me.
Thank you, Lori. I'm better now. I don't feel so forlorn, and I will try to bear whatever comes.
Keep hoping for the best. That will help you. Poor girl. It isn't like you to be worn out. Stop. I know just the thing to hearten you in a jiffy. A sip of wine will warm you up and cheer you. And soon your mother will be home, and everything will be all right then.
I'm so glad that Father is better. Marmee won't feel so bad about leaving him, because he's not yet well enough to make the journey on his own. It does seem as if all the troubles come on in a heap. But to have Marmee home again will be wonderful.
Indeed. There you are. Now drink it up. It will help, I'm sure.
Thank you, Lord. Let's drink health and a swift recovery to Beth.
It's bad.
You're a good doctor, Lord. And such a comfortable friend.
Thank you for those few kind words. But I haven't finished my treatment yet. I have something to tell you that's going to warm the cockles of your heart better than quarts of wine.
What is it?
Yesterday, I telegraphed your mother. Anne Brooke answered and said she'd come at once. She'll be here tonight. Now, perhaps within the next 10 minutes if the train is on time. It was due on the hour, and Brooke has gone to meet her with the carriage, while I came to break the news to you. Aren't you glad I did it?
Oh, Lori, here tonight, just when we need you the most. I'm so glad. Goodness. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It was dreadful of me. I was just so happy that you brought about the answer to my prayers that I couldn't help but fly. Tell me about it, and I don't think I'd better have any more of that wine. It makes me act so stupidly.
It didn't seem stupid to me. I didn't mind it one bit. You see, Grandpa and I got very uneasy. For Beth seemed no better. We thought that your mother ought to know. She'd never forgive us if anything should happen. You know. So yesterday I got Grandpa to say it was high time we did something. And now I went and telegraphed to Washington.
Lori, you're an angel. How shall I ever thank you?
Well, you could fly every once again. I rather liked it.
Now, Lori, that will do. I'll do it by proxy when your grandpa comes. Meg, isn't it wonderful? Lori had already sent for Mother. She'll be here tonight. Meg, what is it? Is she...
I don't know. I can't tell. Hannah and I were talking quietly by the fire, and we heard a sound from the bed. It was almost like a little sigh. We went over, and Beth,
Yes, Meg, yes.
the feverish flush and look of pain had gone. Her little face looked pale and peaceful, a sort of utter repose. Then I got frightened. I couldn't stay. Oh, I had to come down.
Meg!
It's over. I can hardly believe it's happened. The fever's turned. She's sleeping natural. Her skin is moist and she's breathing easy. Praise be given, she's going to be all right.
Oh, Joe!
I have to get upstairs, but I just wanted you to know she's going to be all right.
Thank you, Hannah.
Only when she wakes, Mother will be here to greet her.
Listen, it's the carriage!
She's here. She's home again.
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky is rimmed with angels singing. Hosanna in the highest.
Oh, Mother, do let's sing while shepherds watch.
No, Meg, no, we must have good King Wenceslas. Oh, Marnie, please.
What about we three peaks from Orient? Orange, my favorite. Oh, please.
No, girls. No more now. We will sing again later. We have given Beth a little concert at Carol's for Christmas morning. Now we must think about Christmas dinner. For Mr. Laurence and Laurie will be here before we are ready for them.
That's a fine fat turkey the old gentleman sent in, and no mistake. Pretty nicely it is, Mom. I found the glasses, but they need a polishing. I'll bring the fruit punch as soon as it's ready.
Thank you, Hannah. Joe and I will do the glasses. Oh, goodness. They are here already. Well, Amy's here. You let them in and then go up and help Beth. And Meg, perhaps Hannah, you can help?
Yes, Mommy.
Joe, let's do the glasses.
Shall I help you with the fruit punch, Hannah?
Come in, Mr. Lawrence, Laurie. Oh, a very Merry Christmas to you both. And thank you for the many gifts you sent over this morning.
Oh, my pleasure, ma'am, I do assure you. The compliments of the season to you, ma'am, and to you too, young woman.
A Merry Christmas to you, Mrs. March. Merry Christmas, Joe.
What's this one?
A special poem for the festive season.
Oh,
God bless you, jolly gentlemen. May nothing you dismay, but peace and joy and happiness be yours this Christmas day.
oh, bless my soul. Poems and carols. We could hear the singing before we left the house. Most welcoming for your guests.
I'm afraid those carols were meant only for Beth's ears.
And how is our little convalescent?
She is improving daily. She has spent the morning in bed, hoping to have enough strength to join us for Christmas dinner. Oh, now that she knows you're here, she'll want to come down at once.
Well, may we perhaps go up to her?
She would be delighted. And then perhaps you and Laurie would be kind enough to bring her down?
We specialize in conveying pretty invalids.
We will use the utmost of care, ma'am.
I know she couldn't be in safer hands. Come, Joe, let's polish the glasses.
With Laurie and Mr. Lawrence here, it's going to be a regular family dinner, isn't it, Mommy? If only Father had been well enough to make the journey. It would have been absolutely perfect.
In his last letter, he speaks of coming home early in the new year. And with the weather turning, it will encourage him. So we will have that to look forward to.
I suppose Mr. Brooke will be coming with him.
Yes, why not? He took over nursing your father where I had to leave off. And he wouldn't dream of letting him travel alone.
I know, Mommy, and I'm thankful to him for what he has done.
But what, dearie? Is it about Meg?
How quickly you guess! I am so worried about her, Mommy. It all started last New Year's Eve. Meg dropped her blood that evening, and though Lori searched everywhere, it was never found. Well, do you know what had happened to it, Mommy?
I might guess, but you tell me, Joe.
Mr. Brooke had picked it up and carried it around in his pocket. Lori said it fell out with some papers one day while he was at Lexington with Mr. Brooke. And he owned to like Meg, but didn't dare say anything as he had so little money and but few prospects.
I see.
When he went away, I was hoping that would put an end to it all, but he is coming back. Marmy, isn't it a dreadful state of things?
Do you think she cares for him?
Christopher Columbus. I don't know of love in such nonsense. In novels, girls show it by blushing, fainting away, growing thin, and generally acting like fools. But Meg doesn't do anything of that sort.
And you fancy Meg is not interested in John?
Who?
No, Mr. Brooke. Oh, I call him John now. We fell into that way of doing things while at the hospital, and he likes it.
Dear, I know you'll take his part. You'll not send him away, but rather let Meg marry him if she wants to.
Don't get hot-headed about it, Joe. He has been open and honorable about Meg. He has told us that he loves her, but that he'll wait until he earns enough to provide a comfortable home before he asks her to marry him.
I knew there was mischief brewing. I felt it. But it's far worse than I imagined. I just wish I could marry Meg myself and keep her safe in her family.
Well, when John has returned and I see them together, I will be able to judge Meg's true feelings towards him.
Oh, she'll look into those handsome brown eyes she's always talking about, and it'll be all up with her. She'll go and fall in love, and that will be an end to peace and happiness and good times together. They'll go lumbering around the house, and we shall have to dodge them. Why weren't we all boys? Then there wouldn't be such a bother.
If it is any comfort to you, Joe, your father and I have decided that Meg cannot commit for at least a year or two. And then, if they love each other, they can wait and test that love by doing so.
But, Mommy, wouldn't you rather she married a rich man?
You know my views on that, my dear. I am content to see Meg begin humbly, for if I'm not mistaken, she'll be rich in the possession of a good man's heart, and that is better than any fortune.
I suppose you're right. But I am disappointed about Meg, for I plan to have her marry Lori by and by, and sit in the lap of luxury all her days. Wouldn't that be nice?
My dear, do not make plans for others. Let time and their own hearts guide your friends and your sisters.
But Lori is rich and generous and good, and loves us all. And I think it's a great pity my plan was spoiled. I wish wearing flat irons on our heads would keep us from growing. But kittens grow into cats, I suppose, and buds bloom into roses. More's the pity. What's that about flat irons and cats? Oh, nothing. Just some of my nonsense. Does Hannah need any more help? No, it's all done, thank you.
Oh, come on, dear.
Here is fresh marble,
Oh,
Marty.
better.
Oh, Beth, you look much better today. Are you warm enough, my dear?
Are you comfortable, dear?
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, it's just so lovely to be down here with all of you. After the carols, I was afraid you might forget me.
Oh, dear.
As if we could ever do that. Plan things, child. You're never out of our thoughts.
Oh, Marty, I'm so full of happiness. I don't think I can hold one more drop.
Dear Queen Bess, as the most beautiful turtle dove and as family of partridges, we dedicate this ancient madrigal to you.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me three French hens, two turtle doves.
Why, John? Mr. Brooke.
Oh, bless my soul, it is Brooke. What are you doing here, man?
Please forgive the intrusion, but I have a very special Christmas present for the March Pen.
Oh,
Come on in time for Christmas?
oh, yes, sir.
You hardly believe I'm really here yet. I've often thought how much I should like to arrive and surprise you all on Christmas Day, but it seemed a remote possibility. When the weather turned finer a few days ago, the doctor thought I might take advantage of it and make the journey. So we made some hurried arrangements, and here we are.
This makes it just the happiest Christmas ever, doesn't it, girls?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know, sir. I did very little.
Oh, yes, John, I couldn't have made that journey alone. Due entirely to your efforts, and we are here now. I don't know what I would have done without him these last few months, for he's been very devoted to me. You won't like me saying it, I know, but you're our most estimable young man.
Hold on, Brooke.
Yes, he is right. We do owe you a great debt of gratitude. But you two must be famished,
Yes.
and dinner is nearly ready. no, my dear. You must take things quietly and let us wait on you for a while.
Oh, I don't suppose that small task would be too exhausting. We'll all go. Beth will sit behind his rocking chair by the fire, superintend everything. Come, Mr. Laurence, Laurie, John, that turkey's in for the basting of its life.
Thank you, Laurie.
Well, I must go place 2 more sets for dinner. Joe, my dear, I think you're going to have to resign yourself to the fact that if Meg does not already love John, I think she will very soon learn to.
Come on, Joe. Aren't you going to join us?
There won't be room for all of us in the kitchen. And anyway, right now I hate estimable young men with handsome brown eyes. Well, I suppose we must be thankful to your John for bringing father home safe and sound.
Don't call him my John. It isn't proper, and it doesn't happen to be true.
You act as though you rather wish it would be. Really, it was nauseating the way you two were looking at each other just now.
Oh, really, Joe?
I'm sorry to plague you, Meg, but I do hate all of this uncertainty. If you mean to accept him, then for goodness sake, make haste and let us have it over and done with.
Well, I can't say or do anything until he speaks, now can I?
If he did speak, you would know what to say. You'd cry or blush or give in to him, rather than giving him a good, decided no.
I am not so silly and weak as you think. I know just what I should say, for I planned it all so that I needed to be taken unawares. There's no knowing what may happen, and I wish to be prepared.
Do you mind telling me just what you had in mind to say to him?
Not at all, for my experience may be useful to you by and by in your own affairs of this sort.
Don't mean to have any. It's bad enough having to watch others do it, but I should feel a prize fool doing it myself.
I think not. If you liked someone very much, and he liked you,
I thought you were going to tell me what you had in mind to say to that man.
I should merely say, quite calmly and decidedly, "Thank you, Mr. Brooke. You are very kind. But I agree with Father that I should not enter into any engagement just at present. So please, say no more. But let us be just friends, as we were."
That seems stiff and cool enough. But I don't believe you'll ever say it. And you wouldn't accept it if you did. He'd go on like one of those rejected lovers in books. And you'd give in to him rather than hurting his feelings.
No, I won't. I shall tell him that I've made up my mind and walk out of the room with dignity. Mr. Brooke, do come in and sit down.
Thank you. Hope I don't intrude.
Not at all, Mr. Brooke. You come at just the right moment. I must go and help Marmee in the kitchen, but I'm sure Meg would be glad of your company.
I'd better see if Mother needs me in the kitchen. There's rather a lot.
Please don't go. Are you afraid of me, Margaret?
Mark? How can I be afraid? You've been so kind to Mother and Father. I only wish I could thank you for it.
Shall I tell you how?
Oh, no. Please don't. I'd rather you
I
did.
only want to know if you care for me a little. You see, I love you so much, Meg.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke. You are very kind. But I don't know.
Will you try to find out? Oh, I want to know so desperately. For I can't go to work with any heart until I know just what your feelings are.
I'm not sure that
I'll wait. And in the meantime, You could be willing to love me. Would you find that a very hard lesson, Meg?
Not if I choose to learn it.
Please choose to learn. I love to teach. And it would be much easier than German.
No. I think it would be better if we just remained
Well, but
friends.
Meg, well, do you really mean...
No, please. I don't want to say any more for the moment. I think that... Aunt March.
Yes, Aunt March. I've come to see your father. My maid has just come from the railroad station where she saw him just an hour ago. I got straight into my carriage and drove over. Now, what's all of this? Since when have you been entertaining soldiers in this house?
This is Father's friend. Aunt March, I'm so surprised to see you.
That is evident. And what has Father's friend been saying to you to make you look like a peony? There's mischief going on here, and I insist upon knowing what it is.
We were just talking. I think perhaps Father needs you, Mr. Brooke.
Brooke? That boy's tutor. I understand now. I know all about it. Joe blundered into a wrong message while reading one of your father's letters to me, and I made her tell me everything. You haven't gone and accepted that.
Hush! They'll hear you. I'll let Mother know that you've come.
You stay right where you are and don't you hush me. Something to say, and I will clear my mind of the matter at once. Tell me, do you intend to marry this hook? Well, if you do, you must clearly understand that not one penny of my money will ever come to you.
I shall marry whom I please, Aunt March. And you may leave your money to anyone you like.
I've eternity then, so this is how you take my advice. You'll be sorry for it by and by when you tried love in a cottage and found it to be a failure. There is no happiness in poverty.
And does everyone find it in wealth, Aunt March?
Now, Meg, be reasonable and consider everything. You ought to marry well and help your family. It's your duty to marry a rich man, and it ought to be impressed upon you.
Mother and Father don't think so. They like John even if he is poor.
Parents have no more common sense than my carriage horses.
Oh, I can only say that I'm glad of it.
This Hook, he is poor, and he has no rich relations to help him, has he?
No, but he has many warm friends.
You cannot live on friends, no matter how warm they are. You just try to see how cool they'll grow. What prospects has he?
None yet. Oh, but Mr. Laurence has promised to help
that
him.
won't last long. James Laurence is a crotchety old man and not to be depended upon. So you intend to marry a man with no money, no position, not even any prospects? I thought you had more sense, miss. You could do so much better, I'm sure, if you would just wait a little while.
I couldn't do better if I waited half my life. John is good and wise and talented. Oh, he is willing to work and is sure to get on. Everyone likes and respects him, and I'm proud to think that he cares for me, even though I'm poor and young and inexperienced.
You have rich relations, and that is the secret of his liking, if I know anything.
Aunt March, how dare you say such a thing? John is above such meanness, and I will not allow anyone to suggest otherwise. My John wouldn't marry for money any more than I would. We are both willing to work, and we mean to wait until we can afford a little home of our own. I'm not afraid of being poor, for I've been happy so far, and I know I shall be happy with him, because he loves me.
Very well, then. I wash my hands of the whole affair. You're a silly, willful girl, and you have lost more than you know by this piece of folly. You have upset and disappointed me, and now I have not the heart to see your father, and you must tell him so. And when you are married, do not expect anything from me. You must depend on your Mr. Cook's warm friends for your needs. I am done with you forever.
couldn't help hearing that. Thanks, friend. I am grateful to Aunt Margie, proving that you kept me a little.
I didn't know just how much until she abused you.
And you don't think the finding lessons so difficult after all?
No, John.
Tell me that you love me, man.
I love you, John.
Father! Mother! Someone do come quick! John Brooke is behaving dreadfully, and Meg likes it!
Well, John, I am delighted. Nothing could give me greater pleasure.
We heard every word in the kitchen, but Father wouldn't let us come in. He said he thought things were working themselves out for the best.
Oh, my dear Meg, you know you have my warmest blessings. Oh, and John, I can't tell you how happy this makes me.
Ah, my dear Brooke, many congratulations to you. You are a very fortunate young fellow. My best wishes to you both, dear. Just think that through his coming to us, this charming romance was brought about.
Oh, Hannah, isn't it exciting? Meg and Mr. Brooke are engaged to be married.
That is exciting. My, that Aunt Marge of yours may tire some old torment, but I reckon we stood up to her something proud today. Well, my land, I came here to nurse you as a baby, and I've seen you grow into a fine young woman. I'm as pleased for you now as I can possibly be.
Oh, thank you, Hannah.
And if this young man don't treat you proper, I should be after him with my carpet beater.
I hope it'll never be any need for you to resort to that, Hannah.
I hope not, Mr. John Brooke. I hit hard.
Oh, Meg, when are you going to have the wedding? How about next week? Thursday would be a nice day to have a wedding and
Amy, you mustn't let your enthusiasm for excitement run away with you. I rather think it'll be a year or so yet before you'll be able to start planning for your sister's wedding.
A year? But that is an age away. A wedding next week would have been such fun. Things are always so dreadfully dull. Just after Christmas.
To the future Mrs. John Brooke. I knew Brooke would have it all his own way. He always does. When he sets out to accomplish something, even if the sky falls, it's done.
I thank you much for that recommendation. I take it as good omen for the future, and invite you to the wedding, here and now.
Oh, here you
I'll
go.
come even if I'm at the ends of the earth. It would be worth the journey alone by the sight of Joe's face on the occasion.
Where is Joe?
In the kitchen. I've been trying to cheer her up, but she told me to leave her by herself. Ah, here's the lady. You don't look very festive, ma'am. Pray, what is the matter?
I still do not approve of the match,
Oh, sure.
but I have made up my mind to bear it and not say a word against it.
Okay.
Very good, Joe. Very good.
Okay, I love you.
Margaret, my little women, dear friends, faithful Hannah, I give you a Christmas toast to peace, to the family whose heart and home, to lovers, to friendship. Most families, there comes now and then a year full of events. This has been just such a one for us. The joys have come close upon the anxieties, but it ends well after all. Let us drink to Christmas and the future.
Don't be dismal, Joe. Meg is happy and Brooke will fly around and get settled quite soon. Grandpa will help, I'm sure. Besides, won't it be splendid to see Meg in a little home of her own?
I suppose so. But I feel as though I've lost my dearest friend.
But you don't lose her. You only go halves. Besides, you've got me. I know I'm not good for much, but I'll stand by you all the days of my life. Upon my word, I will.
I know you will, Laurence, and I'm so grateful to you. You are always such a comfort to me.
And just think of all the good times to come. Don't you wish you could take a look in the future?
I think not, for I might see something sad, and everyone looks so happy right now that I don't believe things will be very much in